Hey, Eatontown, Ali Mehdaoui in here, and welcome to my home. And this is Eatontown Voices, where we discuss the decisions shaping our community, explain what happened at our local government meetings, and make sure residents have the information they need without any sensationalism, dramatization, or exaggeration. Before discussing the meeting's central proposal, I want to recognize the mayor, council, borough employees, recreational departments, volunteers, and everyone involved in the improvement of the Captain James M. Gerbis Memorial Park. I said it last time on the video, and I want to say it again because my children are enjoying it. That park looks beautiful during the recent 5K, the splash area, playground, the pavilion improvements, the lighting, the electrical works, the bathrooms, and other upgrades that are creating a place that Eatontown families can genuinely enjoy. So when our local government does something well, it deserves to be acknowledged. And I said exactly that during the meeting because I wanted to make sure that, parties and politics aside, let's call it for what it is. Youth athletics and volunteers were recognized, and residents heard updates about recreational programs, infrastructure work, storm water maintenance, road and parking improvements, and upcoming community initiatives. But the proposal that generated the most community interest was Mayor Anthony Talerico's presentation of the potential new recreation center. So what is being proposed? The borough is exploring the possibility of leasing approximately 14,000 square feet of the United Methodist Church property at 76 Wyckoff Road near Reynolds Drive. The church would remain at the property while the borough would potentially use a separate portion of the building for recreation and community programming. The space reportedly includes multiple rooms, bathrooms, a small kitchen area, significant parking, and most importantly, an indoor gymnasium. The mayor explained that the borough is considering a longer-term lease, potentially structured as an initial term with renewal options. The agreement could also include a right of first refusal, giving Eatontown an opportunity to purchase the property in the future if the owner ever decides to sell. That provision could have significant long-term value because it could prevent the borough from having to compete against developers without first having an opportunity to match a future offer. However, negotiations are not complete. The final rental cost has not been publicly announced, and any agreement would still require council approval and an identified source of funding. So please don't jump in the comments with any assumptions. Let's wait it out. The proposal discussed at the meeting also suggested that community benefit funds could potentially help finance the lease, but the appropriate committee would have to approve that use. Why does this space matter? Well, Eatontown has needed a dependable year-round recreation facility for a long time. And as a father, let me tell you, I agree. Our current recreation spaces are limited. Programs frequently compete for rooms. Equipments must consistently be set up and removed. And many activities depend on school availability or favorable weather. As a rec coach, many times we had to split rec practices because we didn't have enough space. This proposed facility could provide dedicated space for basketball, soccer, lacrosse, and baseball training, theater, music, and other performing arts and crafts, yoga, fitness and wellness programs, scouts, PTA activities, and community organizations, teen programming and supervised social activities, indoor practices when fields are unavailable. I cannot tell you with the weather we've been having how golden this would be. Family activities throughout all 12 months of the year. Instead of every program searching for temporary space, Eatontown could have a central location designed around the needs of its children and families. So community members at the meeting discussed everything from indoor athletic practices and youth theater to ping pong, reading rooms, music lessons, and a safe place for teenagers to spend time. The possibilities are exciting, but they must also be supported by a responsible operating plan. A building alone does not create successful programming. The borough must determine the staffing, supervision, insurance, maintenance, utility, security, and ongoing operating costs. It also establishes how rooms will be scheduled and how residents and organizations will access the facility. Now, those questions deserve clear answers before a final agreement is approved. Now, I want to talk about my position as a candidate, because I got to be clear. I want to be extremely clear with you, because I said this in the actual meeting, and I want to say it here again. I support this recreation center initiative. I support it as a father of two beautiful children of 9 and almost 6 years old. I support it as someone who has coached youth sports and understands how difficult it can be to find dependable practice and programming space. I support it as a resident who believes Eatontown's children deserve a safe, accessible, year-round place to learn, to play, to create, build friendships, and grow. And I support it as a candidate for Eatontown Borough Council. This proposal was presented by Mayor Talerico, who is on the opposite side of our local political race. My support for this initiative is not political endorsement. However, every decision made by the current administration doesn't have to be battled out of political differences. It is an endorsement of a good idea for Eatontown. And I believe all of us, no matter what part of your politics you are, should feel the same way. Supporting a proposal from someone in another political party does not weaken my principles. It demonstrates them. If an idea is responsible, affordable, transparent, and beneficial to our community, I will support it regardless on who receives the political credit. That is what bipartisanship leadership should look like. At least I think so. We should be able to disagree on spending, development, taxes, transparency, and other major policies while still working together when an opportunity can genuinely improve the lives of Eatontown families. Our children are not Republicans or Democrats. They are Eatontown's children. They deserve leaders who can put community interests ahead of political rivalry. During the meeting, I called this opportunity a no-brainer, and I offered to help bring it to life in any appropriate capacity. I stand behind those words. And at the same time, support should never mean writing a blank check. Before the borough signs a long-term agreement, residents deserve to know the negotiated lease price, the total cost of utilities, the insurance, the maintenance, and the improvements. Of course, it's going to be evaluated. The administrator is there for those reasons. The council is there for those reasons. We got to evaluate the source of long-term availability of funding, the borough's responsibilities compared with the property owners, the staffing and supervision plan, the condition allowing Eatontown to exit the agreement if necessary. That's why we have a council lawyer. The exact terms of the right to first refusal, whether the building will remain financially sustainable after the initial funding is exhausted. That's why we have CFOs. These questions are not obstacles to the recreation center. Answering them will help protect it and make it successful. I'm sure these are conversations that will be had in the council meeting. But I want you to please listen to the bigger picture here. This proposal represents something larger than one building. It is an opportunity to demonstrate that Eatontown can invest in its families while remaining fiscally responsible. It's an opportunity to provide more activities for children without immediately committing taxpayers to constructing a new multi-million-dollar facilities. Again, that's why I call it a no-brainer. It's already there. It also gives us an opportunity to protect a valuable community property while allowing a long-standing church congregation to remain in Eatontown. If negotiations produce a fair agreement, the funding is sustainable, and the appropriate protections are included, I believe This is an initiative our community should move forward with. So why maybe unpopular to give credit to the city mayor and the council? I believe this credit is for identifying the opportunity and bringing forward. The council deserves credit for asking important questions. The recreation department and community organizations deserve a meaningful role in determining how the facility could operate. And residents deserve continued transparency as negotiation progress. This is the kind of issue on which bipartisanship should not be controversial. We can scrutinize the details without sabotaging the idea. We can protect taxpayers while investing in children. I'm being selfish here. I'm talking about my children too. We can challenge one another politically while still collaborating for Eatontown. That is the kind of councilman I intend to be. Independent enough to ask difficult questions, responsible enough to protect taxpayers, and open-minded enough to support a good idea regardless of where it originates. Because at the end of the day, this is not about who wins politically. And I mean that. It is about whether Eatontown's children and families win. And if my family wins, I'll take that as a major win for me. It's selfish, but it's true. I'm Ali Mehdaoui. Yes, I am a candidate for Eatontown Borough Council. And this has been Eatontown Voices. Please stay informed. Don't jump on conclusion. And I believe we can maintain a healthy conversation. I'm doing better. Look, not everybody likes or agrees with the things that I report on. I understand that politics could be a competitive race, but at the same exact time, I seek to understand. I seek to listen. And God blessed me with the ability to recognize where, hey, maybe you should slow down, take a step back. Maybe I don't say things perfect every single time. But one thing that I will do, and I will document for the rest of my life, I seek to understand. I reach out. I extend the branch, if you will. And I hope that you two, my dear neighbors, my Eatontown fellow residents, let's talk, not bicker. Let's evaluate, learn. Let's participate. Let's show up in council meetings. Let's reach out. Look, I reach out to the administrator. I reach out to the mayor himself. I reach out to every councilman and councilwoman. I talk to them on a regular basis. And sometimes they let me know straight up, I don't like how you're approaching things. And sometimes they sit down and evaluate. Councilwoman Danielle Jones gave me the opportunity to share a platform with her and have an AI educational session in the month of August. We're not on the same side of the politics, but we are Eatontown neighbors. That's the way it should be. So please stay informed, stay involved, and let's keep working together to a more affordable, transparent, and responsible, and more importantly, united Eatontown. Even if we might not agree on the way of getting there, let's be respectful enough to talk about it. I love you, and one day you'll know how much. I'll see you next time.
Still marketing your business like it's the Yellow Pages era? Welcome to ME Studios, where local solopreneurs and small business owners catch up with the digital world and take over it. We help you go from invisible to undeniable. Featured on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Plus, gain press exposure in over 100 to 300 major media outlets like Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, and the CW. Right here in Eatontown, New Jersey, just steps away from the soon-to-be Netflix studios, our multi-unit facility is built for creators, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Stop marketing like it's 1995. Start building your digital authority today with a team that gets it.